Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Rachel, and in this video I'm going to be telling you about how I learned how to braid my hair in the bathroom. Literally every style that I know how to do today, starting from braiding, adding in extensions, everything that I know about my hair I learned in a bathroom. Also, I'm going to be braiding in this very cute hairstyle that I found on Pinterest. I'm actually redoing this hairstyle because I made the video of me braiding it and then I kind of deleted it. I don't know how that happened, but I lost the footage somehow. I hope you enjoy the video. But before I start with the story, I want to talk a little bit about what I'm going to do with my hair today. So as you've already seen, I braided in initially this hairstyle that you're looking at. However, I'm going to take it out, plait my whole head of hair. After that, I'm going to be retwisting half of my hair and then braiding two corners at the front of my hair, as you'll eventually see. The purpose of me unbraiding my hair right now is so I can get out the shedding. It's been about a week since I last washed my hair, so I need to get the shaded hair out of my head. So without further ado, let's carry on with the story time. I have always been fascinated by braided hair and people can braid hair in general, and I remember very vividly the day that fascination started. I was walking down the street with my mom and my auntie on either sides of me. They were holding my hands. Naturally, because I was a child, I was around 5 or 6 years. I can't exactly place my age, but that was around the time. We were walking down the street with my parents, and there was this lady who was walking right in front of me. Looking back on it, these were the most beautiful cornrows I had ever seen. This lady's cornrows were not only extremely small, they were also extremely neat. And as a child, in my curious mind, my very inquisitive mind, I needed answers. I turned to my mom and I asked her, how did this lady get her hair to be this neat? Like, who did it for her? You know, the questions that children ask. And my mom told me that this lady has her hair braided this neatly because she's a Karamojong. And if you don't know who the Karamojong are, they are essentially a tribe of Ugandans who live in the northeastern part of Uganda, and unlike the rest of society who only can braid hair using fingernails and our fingers, these guys have the very beautiful talent of braiding hair using sticks. They can braid starting from the longest hair to the shortest hair using just a pair of sticks, and the sticks that they use are sticks with sharp pointy ends. So basically they hold the long part, their hands hold the long parts, and then the sharp ends, the tips of the sticks, are what they use for twisting the hair. This is all alleged information. I have never seen for myself, but this is what I have been told. And that day when my mom told me that this lady was a Karamojong and she had her hair braided with sticks, that is where that fascination started. And it's like a third eye had been opened to me as a child. From that day I was very curious about braiding hair. I was determined to learn how to braid hair. I didn't know how, when, or where I would be able to learn from, but I knew in my mind that I needed to learn how to braid hair. And the first time that I tried to braid my own hair, I was about 14 years of age, and I want to set the scene for you. At 14 years of age, I was in school. I was in boarding school actually, and at the school that I went to, we were never allowed to grow our hair out. We always had to cut it off before going to school. Even during the school term, we would have to cut it off. It was a mixed school, boys and girls, and they never allowed us to keep our hair long because Afro textured hair is a lot of work. It requires a lot of time and patience to deal with, and of course the teachers want the kids to focus on books and concentrate, and there was actually no time for a child to be focusing on working on their hair and making sure that they look good. So we're all told, boys and girls, to cut our hair really short, not bald but really short, and that's what we did every single term. However, during the school term, girls mostly would grow out our hair, not extremely long, but long enough that by the time we went back home for our holidays, it was braidable. Like, you'd hold it and you'd have some hair to hold on to while you're adding in hair extensions and braids and whatnot. So I was among the girls who used to keep their hair long. So I'm going to be pausing the story time here for a little bit because I want to talk about the hairstyle that I'm braiding in. So as you've all seen, I've taken out the old braid and now I gave myself a little scalp massage because apparently it helps stimulate hair growth, and we're trying to grow our hair long over here. Also, while I was taking out the old braids, I was taking out most of the shedding, such that by the time I'm now braiding in these mini twists, I have very little shaded hair to be taking out. It's time for me to now braid in a new set of mini twists, and I hope they come out looking really nice. Without further ado, let's carry on with the story time. So I was among the girls who used to keep their hair long. I remember this time when we went back home, I had braids plaited in my hair. But the only problem with braiding very short hair, extremely short hair, is that if you don't either the extensions or the false hair onto like your real hair properly, it's going to be slipping out and it's going to be falling out, and you're going to have some parts of your head or parts of your hair that have braids and then others don't have, and you're going to look very crazy. And that's exactly what happened to me. I am the kind of person who likes going to the shower, and when I'm in the shower I readjust my ponytail, because I usually keep my hair in a ponytail on the top of my head. But in the shower I don't want hair touching me, like maybe water can get onto the braids and then the braids get wet and then they be sticking on you and making your clothes wet when you've changed. So what I would do, or what I always do when I have extensions in, is in the bathroom I'll undo my ponytail and then retie it so that it doesn't get wet. So I remember this day I undid my ponytail, and because my hair was very short by the time I plaited the extensions in, a braid at the front of my head fell out, and the place from which the braid fell out, the hair was at the front, so there was no way that I could ignore it. If the extension had fallen out like from the mid of my head, I'd have been like, you know what, let me just leave it. I have like so much hair on my head, like the braids are very many on my head, so I'll be able to cover it up and like to pretend like nothing has happened. I'll be good. But at the front of the head you can't pretend, because your natural hair is out and other parts of your head have braid extensions, but the middle has no braid extensions, so I couldn't just ignore it and carry on with my life. So I'm going to pause the story a little bit here because I want to talk about this hairstyle that I'm braiding in. After braiding the mini twists, I'm going to be detangling the front part of my hair, and after detangling it, the hair that I've detangled already, I'm going to be tucking it away in twists, big twists and 6 twists all in total at the front. After detangling my hair and braiding it in twists, I'll take it out and then plait cornrows, 2 cornrows, because I'm going to plait 2 cornrows, one on either sides of my head at the front. And yeah, I don't know if you've gotten it, but I just wanted to make things clear in regards to what I'm going to, the next step that I'm taking in regards to plaiting my hair. So yep, back to the story time. So I was in the bathroom, so I was like, I have no one in this house who knows how to braid hair. Not my sister, not my brother, not my mom. No one knows how to braid hair in this home. Even I am very green in this department, but like I didn't have the money to go and have the braid put back in. And there was no way that I was going to ask my mom for money, because she would have told me, first of all, as a student, you're not supposed to be having long hair. What are you doing? Just go and read your books, focus on your studies. When the time is right, you'll braid hair and you'll keep your hair very long and whatnot. So I really wasn't in the mood for that. I was like, you know what, Rachel, just sit down and start braiding your hair on your own. That's what I did. I sat on the bathroom floor and I started braiding my hair on my own. And first of all, because I was very blank, I didn't know what to even do. I didn't know the basics. I didn't even know where to start from. So I grabbed this braid extension and I unraveled it, because it was actually, I think it was braided in 3s. So I undid, no, it was actually braided in 2s. It was like a twist extensions. So I undid the twist and I started practicing on my hands, but I didn't know how the hair was supposed to be twisted. I didn't know I was supposed to turn the twist before wrapping it around itself. If you know the technicalities of how they twist hair, then you'll know what I'm talking about. I didn't know any of that stuff. I sat on the bathroom floor like for about 30 minutes trying to figure out what to do with this braid extension, because I was green, you guys. I was very green. So after like about 30 minutes, I was like, you know what, screw this stuff, like I'm just going to do it. I grabbed the extension and I attached it to my head, to my variant hair, and I took another 15 minutes trying to figure out how to twist this hair in. I actually ended up braiding first the hair in 3s when attaching it to my actual hair, attaching the extension to my hair but braiding it in 3s, like 3 braids. And then when I reached somewhere, I started twisting it. I twisted the hair, but the hair looked so ratchet, it looked horrible. You could already tell that an amateur had done this work, but I didn't care because it was my work, and you know, it was the first time. I was actually really proud of myself, surprisingly, because I was like, you know what, I can do this shit, like, you know, experience. Like, it was a learning experience for me. I got out of the bathroom, I tied my hair very well, but when I did that, it was a turning point for me because I had never really thought about the fact that I could be able to braid my hair on my own. It had never occurred to me. Never in my life had it ever occurred to me that I would braid my hair on my own. And I had actually never seen anyone in my family who could braid their hair on their own. No one actually in my family knows how to braid hair. I've already mentioned that, but to braid your hair on your own, I had never seen that. And after this first braiding experience that I had in the bathroom, I never actually got any other opportunity during that holiday or during the time when I had that hairstyle to actually braid my hair on my own, because I had to take that hair out and I had to go back to school. I was 14 years, I was a student. But when I turned 18, obviously I started growing out my hair because as an adult, there's no one who can stop you from growing hair. On top of that, I left secondary school at the age of 18 and I was going to join the university, and there was no way I was going to campus as a bald-headed girl. So yeah, I had to grow out my hair. I wasn't volunteering to be bald-headed around my peers for obvious reasons. So yeah, I started growing out my hair at the age of 18. I grew out my hair during the senior 6 vacation, and then I joined campus. But at campus, I was not keen on braiding my hair on my own because I was an amateur. I didn't know what to do, and I didn't want to go to class looking crazy, looking ratchet. I feel like I needed to put my best foot forward. I can't have hair that has been braided by an amateur and go to class. We can't afford to look crazy. So I always had my hair professionally done, and on top of not wanting to look ratchet, we had things like tests, exams, discussions, presentations. With my plate full of all those academic obligations, there was no way I was going to be able to have time to practice and learn how to do my natural hair on my own. Anyone who knows natural hair knows that it requires a lot of time and patience to deal with, and like you have to braid the hair. If you're going to leave your natural hair out, you're going to have to keep on braiding it often. And I loved wearing protective styles that lasted me at least for the whole semester. So I would go to the salon and have braids plaited in by a professional hairstylist, and these styles would take me like for 12 weeks. At that time, I would leave protective styles in for a very long period of time. I don't even know what I was thinking, but now I'm much wiser because now I leave the protective styles in for about 6 weeks and then I take them out. I wash my hair more often, but at that time, it was crazy. We were living on the wild side of life. Anyways, the time that I really learned to do my hair on my own, I was still at the university. It was in my second semester. We were actually in recess term, and we had a period of 3 months where we had a very long holiday. And during that time, I was like, why can't I learn how to braid hair? I don't even know what triggered that kind of thinking in me, but I was like, you know what, I think I should learn how to braid my hair on my own during this period of time when we're in holiday. And I sat down, of course, in front of my mirror as usual. I got my phone and I searched on YouTube how to learn how to braid mini twists, or how to learn how to braid cornrows, or add extensions onto your hair or on your own. And that was how I learned actually how to braid myself. I just did a little research here and there. Thank God for the internet. The internet is a blessing and a curse, but the internet at that point in my life was a blessing to me because I learned a lot on the internet in my room, just looking at myself in the mirror and experimenting here and there. Of course, I went through a lot with try and error because I experienced a lot of breakage. I damaged my hair at some points in time, but we live and we learn. And I learned during that time I would practice styles like cornrows, Dutch braids, mini twists. I tried putting extensions, but I wasn't so sure about my skills, so I was very hesitant to try that out. And during that time frame of 3 months, I learned a lot. I actually learned how to properly take care of my hair, like deep conditioning and washing my hair and using leave-in conditioners. Prior to that, I didn't know anything about taking care of my hair, my natural hair properly, because I had grown up all my life having very short hair, so no one ever taught me how to properly take care of my hair. But during that time, I learned a lot about my hair, such that by the time that I went back to the university for my 3rd year, I felt like I was an expert. I was much more confident, and I used to braid my hair to go to class. And whenever I would go for lectures, my friends would look at me and be like, oh, your hair looks so nice. And I would tell them I've done this hair on my own. And they wouldn't believe me. They'd be like, nah, you're lying. And I'd be like, yeah, I've done this hair on my own. I've braided it on my own. And they wouldn't believe because they had never seen anyone who could be able to do that. And one of my friends actually came to me and told me, Rachel, you've been an inspiration to me, and because I've seen how good your hair is, you've learned how to braid it on your own. Even me, I've started braiding my hair on my own. That's what my friend told me. I was very happy because it's nice to be a trendsetter, so to speak, and it's also nice to be an inspiration to others. Like when you're sort of like a role model in some capacity, in one capacity or another, feels very sweet. So yeah, that I continued braiding my hair on my own, and I've braided my hair on my own a lot of the time. I've gone to the professional hairstylist a few times, but from last year in May of 2022, when I went and the hairstylist absolutely ripped out my hair, I haven't been to the salon since, and I've stuck to braiding my hair on my own. And also, I've concentrated so much during this time on braiding my hair on my own, I got traction alopecia from all the hairstyles that I braided, and I'm trying to grow my hair out. So that's the next video that I'm going to be making. I'm going to be talking about how I got traction alopecia, how you can get it if you're not careful, and how I'm trying to treat it, or how I've been treating it in the past few months or so. So yeah, that's the next video that I'm going to make, and I hope this video was entertaining. This is how the hair turned out. This is how I wore the hair for the next week, and I'll be braiding a new hairstyle in the next video, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe, like, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.